Good evening, and welcome to the back of my camper. I've reached my camping ground, which is at Vestrahorn, which was where I shot from last week's video. Northern Lights are supposed to be epic. Now when I say epic, I mean when I was here last November, and like my second night here, it was a 2 on this scale for the aurora, and my mind was still blown. My pictures captured what happened, but it's not like, hey, look at all my picture, everyone. It was nice to just capture, but it wasn't too epic. Tonight is supposed to be epic. It's a 6, which says very high in red. So that has to mean it's important. I'm just gonna wait. It's 5:30. This is where I wanna be, so I just have to hang out. I figured while I am stuck in my camper waiting for something to happen outside, we could talk through some camera settings. This is loose. Talk about some camera adjustments. Just kidding, I'll tighten that in a minute. I will be using my trusty dusty wide angle lens. So I have a 14-24, not this. It's in my bag in the front, so I'll get that later. But same concept. What I'm gonna do is, first of all, on the lens, there we go. Okay, so this is my focus. 10, infinity. It goes past infinity, so I'm gonna go right back there. So just a little bloop, little blip, and that is where I want my focus. And then I'm gonna switch to manual, so that it doesn't change if I push the button. I have the back button feature set on my Nikon D810 to where I've assigned the AF on button for focusing. So even if I turn this on, it's not going to do anything. I'd like to start off at about 1600 ISO, and aperture is going to be open all the way. On this lens, it's f4 to f5.6, I believe. f3.5 is what it is right now. My other lens is fixed at 2.8, so that one's better. We need as much light coming in this lens as we could possibly get, so that you can capture the lights without too much blurring and all this other stuff. Right now the moon's not out yet because the cloud cover is that direction, but it's supposed to be clear by the time midnight comes around, and that's when the lights are gonna be crazy. So if it's clear, the moon will be shining on this mountain, which would be beautiful, and then we could get even less of a time of exposure. So the other night I was like 4 to 6 second exposures, and it was perfect. It was almost too bright, but it was getting all the detail I needed. The northern lights were very small on the horizon, but I could see them. They were bright in the image, and everything looked great. So we'll just have to see once we get out there what it's going to be, settings wise, depending on the moon, and if it's out or if it's behind a cloud. So yeah, those are our settings. That's basically everything you need to know. I may set it up for a portrait, I may not, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna be all the way at 14. That's the widest lens I have. I want the very bottom portion to have the foreground of the ocean and the mountain, and then I want a ton of sky, because that is what I'm here for, and why I'm planning to stay up all night if I have to capture that. So hope you enjoy those tips and tricks, and we will hopefully not be having to wait all night for the northern lights. Okay, so I'm here. I'm cold. I've layered up though, so I'm good. Took a couple of test shots. I got my ISO down to about 1000, and I did about a 5-second exposure to get the mountain and the little hilly, grassy dunes. I don't know what they're called, but I got those. Just met a guy from Buffalo, New York. He was down on the beach taking some shots, and he had a time lapse, and you could barely see the northern lights way off in the distance to the right. These clouds are super high elevation, and I think they may be blocking what would have been a fantastic night. So I'm gonna go down to the beach and get some cool reflective shots, in the water. So once the water comes up onto the beach, it's super glassy and clear, and I should be able to get a reflection of the mountain. So I'm gonna grab my gear and head down to the beach, which is like right over there. You can probably hear it. And we'll see if we can't get some more cool shots here. If we don't have northern lights, we're gonna do something fun. I'm walking, looking to the south, and there's the northern lights. They're here, which confuses me because that would be in the south, and I'm looking at the north, and they're not over there, but they're over here and on top of me. So, they're here. I know they're here. Okay, so I just had like a out-of-body experience. The lights were everywhere. They were right on my head, like pink and green and maybe some purple. I don't know. It was nuts. It was nuts. They're still going. They're not as strong right now. I've heard that they come in waves, so maybe they've died off a minute. I wasn't screaming or anything because there's like the group of 14 photographers over there who were not screaming either, so I needed to act professional. But inside, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, this is crazy. It's crazy. So it's been pretty calm, and I don't really know how I'm gonna go back to my little camper after that just happened. Because I'm like, what if it happens again? I can't miss it. So I'm just laying here against one of these little sand dune grassy haystacks. I'm still trying to be quiet because all those other photographers are over there. They're gonna be like, who's that guy talking to? Hey, keep it down. Turn your light off. Because that's how photographers talk. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a ton out of this. I hope you learned something. And if not, just had fun laughing at me freaking out over here. And if you like this content and you're not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get all the rest of the Iceland videos, as well as my next photography adventures. And be sure and leave me a comment so we can have a chat. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye. It's not my wave. It's not my wave. I'm waiting for my wave. You gotta wait for your own wave, you know? This might be somebody else's wave. Let them ride it. There's a lot of people here. There's enough ice for everyone.